Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 15 of Business Newsletter Recap. I'm your host, Nathan Pohl. If you're a business nerd like me, you're in the right place. The goal of the show is to bring you the highlights of some of the top business newsletters out there in podcast format, so you can get curated reading done on the go. Think of this as your Sportscenter top 10 highlight reel of business newsletter content. Each episode is about 15 minutes and brings insights from 3 top newsletters that I found actionable. If you really like any of them, I'll include the links to sign up for them for yourself and follow the creators on social media in the show notes. Today's episode covers guerrilla marketing inspiration, why you should build your business in public, and a breakdown of the 3-part hook that Steve Jobs used to introduce the iPhone. We're starting off today with a selection from Nick Huber's Sweaty Startup newsletter. Nick started off by building a college student summer storage company, say that 3 times fast, eventually building that into a self-storage empire, and has now founded or invested in dozens of companies. He has some controversial takes out there, but his content on growing businesses is some of the best. He also just released a book just a few days ago at the time of this recording. He writes to a newsletter audience of over 40,000 subscribers, on top of many more social media followers, and our episode today is all about guerrilla marketing. I love hearing about real-life guerrilla marketing campaigns because they are so creative. It's the perfect scrappy way to get things off the ground for your business before you can build up a level of scale. Nick has a number of great stories in this newsletter from his early days of starting a self-storage company for college students. He rented a truck, printed up a few thousand flyers, and got a few buckets of sidewalk chalk and headed to Boston. He would go through every dorm in every school in the city: Harvard, MIT, Boston U, Northeastern, Tufts, sliding flyers under doors. He would also go through the common walkways on campuses and write student storage, studentstorage.com, over and over and over again with chalk. He would hand out popsicles with coupons to students on hot days. Eventually, he transitioned the sidewalk chalk ads to start recruiting employees when his business grew large enough. College students moving back home from the summer need storage space to keep their couches and dorm room decorations. And when the weather got nice in the spring, all Nick did was get in front of them where they were already walking or hanging out. I saw several sidewalk chalk ads myself in my college days that grabbed my attention every time just because they were out of the ordinary. It's very easy to tune out ads where we are primed to see them all the time, so you need to break that frame. Speaking of breaking frames, our sponsor is still the Marketer Gems newsletter, just in a different spot. If you're looking for marketing inspiration, deep dives, and actionable tactics, then Marketer Gems is what you'll want to read. There's no AI slop or useless articles in there, just pure high-impact marketing intelligence. Join me and thousands of others and subscribe now at marketergems.com. Again, that's marketergems.com. I'll have the link for you in the show notes. Now, back to the episode. Doing the unscalable reminds me of Alex Lieberman and Austin Reef's story getting the morning brew off the ground at the University of Michigan. They would go in front of econ and finance lecture halls and pitch the morning brew, and then pass around a sign-up sheet to make sure they got the email of every single student in the class. They would then manually enter the emails into their list, putting in multiple variations of email addresses if someone's handwriting was hard to read. Not very scalable, but very effective. Nick shares a few other guerrilla marketing tactics from other entrepreneurs he knows that you will want to read if you are looking for inspiration, so I'll be sure to include the original newsletter in the show notes. But he concludes with a very important point, that the whole goal of guerrilla marketing is to find the places where your customers spend time and do scrappy, unscalable things to get in front of them. That might be sidewalk chalk, sticking flyers and door handles of grocery store parking lots, planting yard signs on the corner of busy intersections, or handing out coupons with free popsicles. My version of doing this right now is commenting on a ton of YouTube videos from business creators with similar audiences. It's my own spin on the sidewalk chalk because business professionals who watch other business podcasts are on YouTube. Hopefully, this segment gives you inspiration to create your own guerrilla marketing campaign for your company. The next newsletter highlight of the episode is another great addition from Big Desk Energy, written by Tyler Denk. If you're a regular to the show, you'll recognize that name. Tyler is the founder of Beehive, who powers the Marketer Gems newsletter, and World Builders, who we will feature at the end of the episode. Simply put, Beehive is the platform you want to write newsletters on, thanks to how fast Tyler's team ships out products and features. We featured Tyler's newsletter on the show a few times, breaking down how he implements EOS at Beehive and how he prioritizes his time. Today, we're looking at why and how he builds in public. Beehive has been built in public since its inception, if you can scroll back far enough on Tyler's timeline, and his whole newsletter is Tyler sharing why that has helped Beehive reach the heights that it has. He shares his personal philosophy that building in public is good marketing and helps attract support and like minded people. But as the newsletter goes on, he shares specific reasons why it does well. The first is that the personal accounts on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook all get more organic reach than corporate accounts. A corporate page might have thousands of followers, but it's unlikely that it will outperform one of its founders or executives posted from an account with a fraction of the following. He gives the example of Airbnb. In their winter 2023 update, both their corporate account and their founder, Brian Chesky, posted the update. The corporate account got about 30,000 impressions, a handful of likes and shares, and a little over 100 comments. Brian's personal account, on the other hand, got 2.5 million impressions, 5,000 likes, almost 1,000 shares, and 250 comments. Much, much different result. I've seen this play out countless times in my own content as well as other companies I follow. This goes to show that social media algorithms and therefore people still believe that people buy from people. Most people like to hire, strike deals with, and buy from people that they know. It's our natural defense against getting scammed. The Amazons, Walmarts, and McDonald's of the world have the advantage of the social proof of millions, if not billions, of customer interactions to build trust. But if you don't have that amount of customers, building personal connections with the people who interact with your business needs to happen. Finally, Tyler talks about the necessity for building in public. It's one of the best ways to build an audience. Audiences equal distribution, which is why successful brands have started up on the backs of individuals with large ones. Think Feastables by Mr. Beast, Prime by Logan or Jake Paul, I honestly can't tell them apart, and Skims from Kim Kardashian. If you started these companies with 100 followers on LinkedIn as the founder, it would take hundreds of thousands of dollars in ads to get the same reach that these brands have thanks to their creators. Creating content that people find valuable gets more engagement, getting you more followers, and therefore more distribution. This was a great addition that instantly made me go apply the actionable takeaway of posting more of my build process in public. You can scroll back on my LinkedIn and find the exact Saturday where I was writing this and then dropped what I was doing to post. It does take time to create content like this, but very worthwhile for your business. The final newsletter highlight of this episode is written by Nathan Pohl, who writes the World Builders newsletter. Nathan worked as a consultant at EY before starting World Builders, where he teaches people the art of storytelling. I've been working on improving this skill myself, so I found this newsletter extremely valuable. There are over 80,000 others who do too, which makes this one of the largest newsletters we've covered on the podcast. In this edition today, Nathan breaks down 3 hook strategies that Steve Jobs used in his presentation to introduce the iPhone. Here's the full quote from Steve. "This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. You're very fortunate if you get to work on one of these in your career. Apple's been very fortunate. It's been able to introduce a few of these to the world. In 1984, we introduced the Macintosh. It didn't just change Apple, it changed the whole computer industry. This is a brilliant opening preamble to one of the most historic product releases of all time, and Nathan does an amazing job of breaking it down section by section. The first thing he calls out is the promise that Steve alludes to in his first two sentences. The first sentence promises excitement and primes the audience with the labor illusion. Steve has been looking forward to this for 2.5 years. If you recall back to episode 5, we shared the Psychology of Marketing's newsletter's breakdown of the labor illusion, where people associate more value with things that take longer or more effort. Subtly leading with this subconsciously gets the crowd primed for something valuable. He also creates the promise and expectation of a revolution. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. Not only will this release be valuable, but this will be the start of a revolution. Steve then gives an invitation to the audience to be part of the revolution. He says, "You are very fortunate if you get to work on one of these in your career," referring to revolutionary products. Nathan highlights the brilliance of throwing the word you in this sentence. It appears nowhere else in Steve's opening statement, as he has mostly been talking about Apple and a revolution. But the you makes the crowd feel privileged to witness this moment and invites them to join in. The final two sentences wrap up the anticipation of this great promise and compare the release to the previous Apple launches. Apple's been very fortunate to introduce a few of these to the world. In 1984, we introduced the Macintosh. It didn't just change Apple, it changed the whole computer industry. This is the big draw, the comparison to the Macintosh release that disrupted an entire industry in the 80s. This instantly ties the iPhone release into Apple's lineage of groundbreaking products, positioning them as the type of company that starts revolutions. And it obviously also primes the crowd for something as revolutionary as the Mac. Nathan notes that this isn't necessarily an exact template for hooking your audience, but this preamble has some excellent elements you can add to your own speaking or writing. Priming your audience with psychological effects, like the labor illusion, can create a greater sense of value. Using the word you can help people feel more connected with your message. And positioning your message next to something else recognizable to your audience can quickly form positive associations and esteem, which is why I compare my podcast to Sportscenter. Use these strategies the next time you need to write long-form copy or speak for your business. To recap our actionable takeaways from the episode, we discussed guerrilla marketing tactics from Nick Huber's newsletter. We heard about the importance of building in public and having a personal brand from Tyler Denk, and we got practical hooks to use in long-form communication from master storyteller Nathan Pohl. If you had a favorite section, please reach out. I'm trying to collect as much feedback as I can from listeners of the show. My contact information, as well as that of Nick Huber, Tyler Denk, and Nathan Baugh, are all in the show notes. And if you enjoyed the show, it is 100% free to you to leave a rating on Spotify or a thumbs up or subscribe on YouTube, or share it with a colleague or fellow business nerd who might enjoy it. It really does mean a lot to me. I do see all those ratings and subscriptions and messages that you send me, and it makes my day. Thanks again, as always, for tuning in, and we'll see you next episode on Business Newsletter Recap.